Hey guys, welcome to the show. This is my spoiler review for Deadpool 2. I was going to do a regular video to review Deadpool 2, but I thought there's really no way to talk about this movie in a formal review that isn't like really boring. I really don't know how to do it. I was thinking about it. I don't know how to make like a 8-minute long review where I don't actually talk about everything in the movie. It's kind of a tough movie to talk about without spoiling because to get into anything interesting, you have to talk about the things that happen in the movie that are big plot reveals or character moments. Also, I don't know how you review a Deadpool movie, especially this one. The first film had more of a structure to it, with Deadpool on the highway and the flashbacks and Wade Wilson's story and his kind of his character arc and his relationship with Vanessa. This film is just kind of like crazy. I think it's like 5 or 6 different movies put together. It seems like they never had a script that was totally tight. I don't know if they ever really had a finished script. That doesn't mean they didn't have a lot of stuff written, but it seems like there was a lot of ideas shoved together into this movie. Like the first 20 minutes feels like one movie, and then the second 20 minutes, well, the next 20 minutes feels like another movie. Then it turns into another movie, I think. Then it finally kind of comes together and becomes what it means in the final, like, the final act or so, but not even really the entirety of the final, like, last half hour or so. Now, I'm not saying that as a negative. It's not that I mean Deadpool 2 is a bad movie because of this. It's not really much of a film. It's hard for me to really call it a movie in a lot of ways. Like, it is a film, obviously, but it's also kind of like, which is something I complain about, honestly, with a lot of films of the last few years. It's just a collection of scenes that don't necessarily have a lot of flow, and each scene builds up a story beat that carries over to the next thing. This film does jump around a lot. It is kind of chaotic. Now, that does seem intentional, more so than a lot of those other films, and maybe a little self-aware that it's doing that. But I also think this film could have benefited from a little bit more focus, dramatic focus, and character focus. There's too many characters. Once again, there's too many movies that they have in here, and they can't decide which movie it is. I was personally disappointed in a couple of the decisions they made, but we'll get into that because we're going to go through the movie, kind of like I do in all of these spoilers review, where I go like scene by scene into it. I find Ryan Reynolds' humor to be a bit obnoxious at times. I can understand that. I'm a Ryan Reynolds fan, and I think he's a good actor, and he seems a lot more comfortable in the role now than he did the first time. He actually seems very relaxed playing Deadpool here. He seemed like he was really trying the last time, you know, and he's doing that Bugs Bunny thing. But this movie, I think he does some amazing work. I think he actually gives, like, I think he's kind of acting his butt off in a few scenes. In particular, there's a smile he gives in the end credits that's so funny. It's amazing. I don't really know how he did it. And that was kind of another disappointment, as the funniest bit of the movie for me. One of the only times I laughed out loud was the final like 5 minutes, the credit sequence. Which, you know, whatever, you know, humor is subjective, and I didn't laugh that much at the first Deadpool. It's not like, I've never been a big Deadpool fan, the comic books in general. I never really got why Deadpool... I mean, I get why Deadpool's popular, but he's really popular. Now, having said that, I don't think the first film is a bad movie. The first film actually has some really clever stuff in it, if it didn't make me laugh out loud. I do like the stuff on the highway. I do think Tim Miller did a really good job with that movie, especially with the budget he had. I do like the way the flashbacks are incorporated. I pretty much like every scene with Deadpool and Colossus and Negasonic Teenage Warhead. I like all of those scenes in the first movie. You know, the Where's Francis joke is okay. Now, Deadpool 2, on the other hand, I probably enjoyed more than I enjoyed Deadpool 1. I probably had a better time in the experience, but I wonder if I think it's not as good of a movie. The first film, I think, is a better put together film, and in many ways a better direct film, and just fresher, but that's because the concept is a little bit more fresh. And this film, while I didn't enjoy it more, I thought it had like more entertainment value. It is weird if I'm being objective here. I almost want to say the first film was just a bit of a better movie, especially with the relationship between him and his girlfriend. This film, a big failure of it for me is I really didn't like the relationship between Deadpool and the kid Russell, the kid from Hunt for the Wilder People. it's not that I thought the kid was bad. He wasn't a bad actor or anything like that. I just really didn't buy the emotions of it and Deadpool's motivations for saving this kid. I understand why he wanted to save the kid and what was going on in the movie with the whole him trying to get into heaven to get with her in the afterlife and all that. But something about it was just not, I don't know. I don't think the emotion was there. It might have been because a lot of it was rushed or too dragged out. Like, I thought the whole prison segment of the movie was too long. I thought that should have been, like, cut in half. And then other parts of the movie I thought was too short, like the X-Force. I know a lot of people like the X-Force joke that Deadpool puts the team together and then well, we're in spoilers, but they all die as soon as they go on their first mission. I don't dislike that some of them die. Don't get me wrong. And the Brad Pitt cameo's funny. But I don't think all of them should have died. I wish Peter had stayed alive. I had wished that Terry Crews had stayed alive. Why waste Terry Crews in this movie? I get killing some of them. See, I think they could have had it both ways. I think you could have killed some of the team members off in horrific Final Destination ways, and also kept some of them alive outside of Domino. I think just keeping Domino alive was detrimental, but it's another problem where this movie doesn't know what it is. See, at the beginning of this movie, we get an opening that's very similar to the first Deadpool, where he's walking and he's about to blow himself up, and Air Supply's playing, and he's talking to you, and it's very much like the first film, and we're going to go backwards. So you think the film, at least I did, is going to lead up to this at the end, but it turns out this is all going to be wrapped up in the first, like, 10 minutes. So, since the first Deadpool, he's been going around taking out bad guys, and there's this really funny montage with him shooting a bunch of bad guys. You know, there's one scene where he comes out of a casket and he shoots a bunch of dudes. I thought that was funny. Very gory. I believe David Leitch is his name. He was one of the directors on the first John Wick, and then did Atomic Blonde. I think it's safe to say the other John Wick director is the superior director, because John Wick 2 is a much better film than Atomic Blonde. And I don't think the direction of this movie's bad, but it's a little sloppy. It's a slick-looking movie, but I wasn't, like, super impressed with his craftsmanship as a filmmaker, excluding a couple of action scenes. And for me, I think the main reason this movie works is the cast and the jokes and Ryan Reynolds' delivery. A lot of the jokes only work because of the delivery, not necessarily that they're very good jokes. So then he goes to fight this one guy, and he goes back home, and he's going to have a baby with his girlfriend, Vanessa, I believe is her name. And then she gets killed, which I didn't actually see coming. I'll give the movie that. That was actually kind of like, oh shit, you're going to kill Deadpool's woman, that, like, what he fought the whole first movie to get? And then you get this dramatic scene where he hunts the guy down in the rain, and we get an opening credit sequence after the explosion that is a parody of the openings, I'd say in particular, to Skyfall and Spectre. Now, it's making fun of all James Bond openings in general. What's ER's review of Deadpool 2 going to be like? I don't think he's going to do a review of Deadpool 2, is my theory. I don't imagine him doing one. Oh, by the way, Total Biscuit died, apparently. Rip Total Biscuit. I knew he was sick, but I didn't know he died, so R.I.P. to a big YouTuber out there. Pretty crazy. So we get this James Bond parody opening with the song Ashes by Celine Dion. I did think this was funny. The imagery, how they do the credits, one of the guys who shot John Wick's dog. Now, they did this in the first movie, but the first movie, I think, was just a bit more inspired with this, with the car wreck sequence. But, you know, this was a funny parody, so I'm not going to knock it. It was a funny opening. So then Colossus comes to get Deadpool, and he takes him to the X-Men mansion. And I was one thing that upset me is I was expecting more X-Men in this movie. All we got was the X-Men. All we got was the ones from the previous film. There is one joke that is really funny, where he's going around in the house in the wheelchair, Xavier's wheelchair, and he's like, "Where the hell are the X-Men? Why is nobody here?" And he walks by a room, and Beast is there with the door open, and James McAvoy's in there. And he just gives this look, and they shut the door on Deadpool. That made me chuckle. So, now Deadpool's depressed. He's basically clinically depressed. There's also a nice joke that's a follow-up to the first movie joke, where he says that there's the cure for blindness beside his cocaine stash underneath the floor and the floorboards. And when he actually goes to get his cocaine, there's the cure for blindness, and it's another bag of cocaine. Now, that's a great callback to the first movie. One of my other issues with this film is that they repeat a lot of the jokes from Deadpool 1. A lot of the bits, or they do callbacks that I thought weren't that well thought out. In particular, TJ Miller sucks in this. I really don't like TJ Miller in this. I didn't like him in the first one, but I dealt with it. The whole, like, I don't hate TJ Miller either. I like him in, like, Silicon Valley and all that. But the first movie where he's just doing that improv, where he's just doing insults to Deadpool, okay, I'll give you that in the first movie. And, you know, him owning the bar actually kind of tied into the plot. This movie, holy crap, every line he had was just downright terrible, and he was just improvising it, and I just did not find him that funny, and I didn't think he was that useful. I felt like you could have just cut him out of the movie. He didn't really add anything to it, and I don't really see his purpose in this. Personally, I thought it would have been a lot better. My pitch for Deadpool 3, Rob Liefeld and a group of egotistical comic book creators as the villains, messing with Deadpool's reality to make it more Rob Liefeld. Oh, so you mean like that Looney Tunes cartoon where Bugs Bunny's effing with Daffy Duck the entire time and keeps changing things up, and Daffy Duck has to deal with it? What would it have been like, as say Trey Parker directed Deadpool 2 instead and wrote the script? I don't know what it would have been if he had directed it. He's never really directed something like this before. I don't know if Trey Parker could direct an action movie. I would have liked if he had worked on the screenplay, for sure. I think Trey Parker would have been terrific to work on the script, but he wouldn't do that. He typically likes to write his own original stuff. He also doesn't need the money. Let's make that very clear. So, the X-Men mansion stuff's great, and then here's a good concept. Deadpool joins the X-Men. He's a recruit with the X-Men. Now, that's something I could get behind, and I was very excited for this part of the movie. There's the scene where they first go to meet Russell, and Deadpool's wearing this, like, yellow shirt over his outfit, and he's an X-Men now. And I was, like, so, like, pumped for this. Like, this is a great idea. Like, this is a nice twist on the first film, a nice follow-up. The first movie, he won't join the X-Men. The second movie, he does join the X-Men. Unfortunately, like a lot of ideas in this movie, it gets wrapped up very quickly so they can move on. Well, of course they're going to get rid of TJ Miller, but they weren't going to do that when they were filming the second movie. Of course they're going to do that. I don't think Morgan Freeman's going to be in anything soon either. So... Although you know what? Don't punish Morgan Freeman, Hollywood. We need him. Please. Why can't it be an untalented person who got accused? Why did it have to be Morgan Freeman? Like, there's so many people out there that are hacks. Like George Clooney. Would anybody really care if George Clooney stopped working? I know I wouldn't. But the Freeman? Come on, people. So, Deadpool is on the X-Men, and I was really excited about it. And then... Is it just me, or was Russell basically a live-action Eric Cartman? A little bit. Eric Cartman's a bit funnier. Eric Cartman's better written than Russell was. But they wrapped this up so quickly. Morgan Freeman got accused of sexual misconduct on a bunch of movies. That was a big, all over the news today. He's in trouble. Actually, he's in big trouble, and he just won a SAG Lifetime Achievement Award. It was something like 10 women came out. Said he was saying perverted things or looking up their skirts or something like that. I didn't read it all, but I was reading about it on Twitter, but it was all over the place. You know, this stuff happens every week now. Someone new gets accused every week. So Deadpool, once he finds out that Russell's been abused, which just seems like a very underdeveloped thing, him and Russell get sent to a prison. Now, this is a cool element in the screenplay that was a good idea, that they have these collars that take away your mutant power. I'm going to give that to the screenwriters, this thing that's a convenient piece of writing, because it does set up the tension for Deadpool to be able to die. You know, because otherwise you would sit there and go, well, there's no tension. There's no way he can die here. But they actually come up with an idea in this movie to make it where Deadpool could die. So him and Russell are in the prison, and this is the moment you're supposed to get emotionally attached to them, and I just didn't. I didn't really care about Russell and his relationship with Deadpool. I liked Deadpool. I thought he was fun. Also, there is a cool thing about this where him getting cancer again and getting sick and dying, and he wants to die. Deadpool basically wants to die, and there's these sequences where he's trying to get into the afterlife, and he's like hitting a wall of water. And there's kind of this cool little thing with it where when he gets his powers back later, when the collar comes off, it's like exciting. It's an exciting moment in the movie, which I didn't think the movie would be able to do. It's a cool superhero moment where Ryan Reynolds is laying there with his body, he basically gets his spine like twisted or something. And then he gets his powers back and comes back, and it's like, this is actually, yeah, this is exciting. And it made me think, what would this movie have been like if they had taken Deadpool's powers away for longer? Like, not just done this prison segment, but for the whole first half of the movie, Deadpool doesn't have his powers, and then the second half, he gets them back. Oh, I would love Hiro Murai to do a Deadpool film, but that guy should just be directing all sorts of stuff. He's really great. I mean, they said that, I mean, the guys who write the Deadpool film so far are comedy writers. They wrote Zombieland. They're not like dramatic filmmaker writers. They've written nothing but comedies as far as I know. Now I'm imagining the credits for Trey wrote Deadpool 2, written by one of the bastards who killed Kenny. I admit that would be funny. I could get behind that. Kudos to you on that one. So, Cable from the future, a Terminator 2 future. Also, another thing, I was really disappointed with Cable. I really was, for all the hype. Josh Brolin's well cast. One of the things that Tim Miller and Ryan Reynolds fought over was the casting of this role. Tim Miller wanted Kyle Chandler, the great Kyle Chandler, by the way, Friday Night Lights. He was in Wolf of Wall Street, Argo. Weekly Edition, I think it was called, that show where you'd get the paper the day before things happen. Love Kyle Chandler. Big fan of him. He's in Manchester by the Sea. Mainly, though, he was the coach from Friday Night Lights, the television series. And there's and I guess they fought over the casting, and now I don't really get it. Because Cable's such a non-presence in this movie. Like, he only gets, like, one flashback, the Terminator thing. He only gets one scene in the future, really. He's not in the movie that much. He just shows up at random spots. He's good. Like, Josh Brolin's good, and the action scenes with Cable are cool. The special effects and the stuff they give him as weapons are all cool. But I really didn't think Cable shined in the movie. I was thinking the movie was at odds with itself. It was either, is this going to be a team movie where Deadpool joins a team or gets a team together to fight Cable, or is this going to be a buddy movie where him and Cable team up together? And it's neither. It tries to be the team movie, then it makes a joke about that, and it doesn't become the Cable Deadpool buddy movie until the very end of the film. So it's neither one of those films. So I thought that was a bit of an issue with the film. Yeah, I felt like they could have done more with Cable. I felt like Cable should have been in the movie more, and there should have been more with the stuff with him in the future. And if you were just gonna kill the X-Force off, if you were just gonna kill them all off, I think you could have given Cable more to do. In fact, I would have said the opening scene of this movie should have been Cable. The opening scene should have been a Cable scene in the future and him going back in time instead of the opening scene we got. I think that would have been a better setup for the film. How would you fix Cable in the film? I would just have him in it more. That was the way I would fix it. I would just give him more to do. I would give him more dialogue. I would put him in more scenes. I would cut other characters that take up screen time and give that screen time to Cable. I don't think Cable's an issue as a character. I just don't think he's in the movie enough. Yeah, that was a big disappointment to me. I think any emotional investment or plot momentum is broken up by excessive fourth wall breaking moments. You probably have a point in that. This film was excessive in the meta humor and the fourth wall breaking. I mean, they had a box office joke for me. And you guys know me, I do Box Office Addict, so that made me happy. They talked about how they beat Passion of the Christ domestically, but not worldwide. Which I was like, man, I would write that joke. It's a damn box office joke. Nobody makes box office jokes in movies, so. Now, the problem is the hit-to-miss ratio with the jokes. For every joke that's funny and hits, there's probably like 3 or 4 jokes after those jokes that don't hit, that aren't that funny or clever. And that's kind of an issue. Any useless time with Yukio could have helped Cable, to be honest. Oh, yeah, for sure. That was a real waste of time, the whole lesbian plotline thing. That was it wasn't that funny at all. It actually felt completely useless in the movie. I don't even think Negasonic Teenage Warhead needed to be in this. So Deadpool escapes the prison, and Russell just thinks that Deadpool betrayed him, so he decides to go be friends with somebody big in the prison. Now later, this gets revealed to be Colossus, which the CGI for Colossus looked like absolute dog shit. Oh my god, I mean, not Colossus, Juggernaut, my bad. Juggernaut's in this movie. Juggernaut and Colossus' CGI looked horrible. Colossus looked better in the first movie, even though it had half the budget. And Juggernaut just looked fun. His muscles looked like Jell-O. Now, one thing that's cool about the Deadpool movies is they can get away with kind of mediocre CGI because Deadpool is a parody and it's self-aware of being a comic book film. So the bad CGI almost works because of what Deadpool is, that the character knows he's in a movie. I wouldn't typically give that leeway to bad CGI, but if there's a film that can get away with it, it's the Deadpool movies. Although Tim Miller had a special effects background, and I think that showed in the first movie. While this film, it was a good-looking movie, but you could tell its budget was only like $110 million. It wasn't like the special effects were amazing or anything. You could tell when there was CGI in some moments. Not all of it. Deadpool looked pretty good for most of the movie. So after Deadpool gets out, he decides he's going to put a team together to save Russell from Cable. Because him and his girlfriend wanted to have a son. So he has this. So the whole idea is that Deadpool takes Russell in as a surrogate son. So he's going to start the X-Force. And all the people come into audition. And that's a pretty fun sequence. And you get the Vanisher, or he's the Invisible Man. I can't remember his name, but there's one guy that's invisible, and later that's revealed to be Brad Pitt, which is really funny. So, God, I sound weird. Sorry, I think my throat's a little plugged. I sound nasally, I think. I don't typically sound this nasally, but I think I sound really nasally right now. I almost feel like I got an infection or something. But Peter shows up, and he's great. So that segment of the movie, the X-Force stuff, I really liked. I really liked Deadpool with the team. I liked him going out with them and talking to them in the plane. I liked them jumping out of the parachutes. But then they decide to kill off all of the characters in the X-Force, except Domino. Vanisher, thank you. They kill off everyone. I mean, it's ridiculous. And don't get me wrong, it's not that it isn't funny that they all die horrific deaths, but like I said earlier, keep Peter alive. Peter's such a good joke, and they do retcon this at the end, but why waste Peter? Could you imagine if Peter was in the rest of the movie and he was in the final action sequence and all that? I mean, I don't know why they wasted Peter. I really think that was a mistake. And Terry Crews. Why would you waste Terry? Terry Crews doesn't even really have any dialogue in this movie. Why the fuck would you waste Terry Crews in a Deadpool film? Stupid, stupid idea. I'm serious. That was a flaw. That was a mistake. I'm not gonna say it was a flaw, but it was a mistake. It was a mistake to kill off all of the characters. So, you know, kill the characters that we don't care about, the acid guy and all that. Don't kill Terry Crews. But he does get to keep Domino, who has the power of luck, which you don't think is going to work out that well and be that cinematic and cool, and it's actually the best new addition to the movie. Was when Domino, whenever she survived through luck. That was awesome. That was so freaking awesome. I mean, like, there's an action scene with her in this armored truck with Cable trying to get the kid, and it's probably the best action scene of the movie. And the way that she survives stuff by, like, falling into, like, a kitty, I think it's a Hello Kitty or something like that. What the hell do you call those? Air balloon animal? Blimp, I guess it would be. But she survives through this crazy stuff. Well, still, he's out of the movie. Even if he didn't die, they don't do anything with him in the movie. He's taken out of the movie. So it's, you know, he's still like he's gone. I mean, I don't know how he didn't die. It looked like he got, like, his head cut off in that bus. But okay, he didn't die, but he's not in the movie. That pissed me off. Why waste Terry Crews? Come on. It was a downer for the crowd, without a doubt, for newly introduced characters to die instantly. Yeah, I get what the joke was. It was to subvert your expectations and the whole teen movie trope, but I don't know. I don't know if it totally worked. For me, personally. And I think people are going to be split on it. I don't think it's going to be where everyone loves it. I think some people are going to find it funny and other people are going to be upset about it. Yeah, that was the joke. I just don't know if it's that funny of a joke. Like, I get what they were doing, but I don't really know if it's that funny. And if it's worth the screen time and all the setup when they could have been doing other things. It's not bad, but it doesn't really add that much to the movie. It just kind of, it really doesn't. It doesn't really add any layers to the film. It just kind of takes up screen time in a long movie that's already 2 hours. Even though 2 hours isn't long, but this movie, you feel the 2 hours because it's just so dense with stuff. So Domino and Deadpool team up, and this is probably my favorite sequence in the movie, or one of them, is the whole armored truck sequence with Cable trying to get Russell. Juggernaut shows up. Deadpool gets ripped in half. It is like a skit from MacGruber, yeah. Yeah, God, a lot of it did feel like skits, like SNL skits. Agreed on it, especially because no one knew the characters anyway. I don't know if it's deep comic nerd meta humor at its best. Did you notice young David Haller's Legion cameo in the movie? Maybe? I don't remember it. Was he in the prison or something like that? Or was he in the orphanage? Where Russell grew up? So after that, Deadpool and Deadpool gets ripped in half, and there's this joke where Deadpool has little baby legs, and they think this joke is way funnier than it is. This joke goes on for way too goddamn long. I swear to fucking God. I mean, God, they think this is funny. It's not that funny. Visually, it's not that funny. It's funny for like one shot. Do you remember in the first Deadpool when he cuts his hand off when Colossus is dragging him? The orphanage. He gets his hand cut. He cuts his hand off, and then later you see his little baby hand for like a few shots. He has the little baby hand. That's funny. That's a decent joke. In this movie, he grows little baby legs and baby feet, and there's a Basic Instinct reference, and that's funny, where you see like his dick and balls. But everything else with that joke, T.J. Miller shows up and he talks about it. Domino shows up, she talks about it. Cable shows up, he talks about it. Then they have a scene where Deadpool walks to him with the little legs and all that. And I guess they think the audience is supposed to be laughing out loud at this. And my audience was chuckling. I wasn't laughing. It just kind of fell flat for me. And I know that's a... And you're like, why are you attacking a joke? You're nitpicking. Well, it's kind of a comedy, so you have to talk about the jokes, the set pieces and the jokes. It's not really a movie where you want to talk about story and characterization, character development, themes. Even though it's a movie about family. It's really about family, and that's what's so great about it. What's your theory for ER not reviewing Deadpool 2? Because he doesn't typically review films like this or films that he likes. He almost always reviews films he doesn't like. Or films with like a political agenda. I've rarely seen him review stuff that he likes or stuff like this. Did he review the first Deadpool? I don't remember him reviewing the first Deadpool. Maybe I don't remember that review, but I don't see why he would review this film. It doesn't seem like it falls into his content, what he does. I don't know how you enjoyed the baby leg scene so much. I mean, to each their own, but I thought that joke dragged on way too long. And it just wasn't that funny. I mean, I guess comedy's subjective, but to me, I don't know how someone could explain why that's funny besides the simplistic nature of it. And that's fine for like a 30-second gag, but for a joke that goes on for minutes, I mean, it's a long joke. But whatever. You know, if somebody enjoyed it, whatever. I just, man, that was not... And I didn't like that they thought it was really funny. The writers seemed to think it was really funny. Yeah, she's fine. So then Cable and Deadpool team up. He did while praising One Punch Man. No, he was reviewing, Was he reviewing Deadpool when he talked about One Punch Man? Was that the review? Yeah. Subversion, that's right. I forgot about that, yeah. Half that review's him talking about One Punch Man, why I love One Punch Man. For some reason, I thought that was, a different movie from Deadpool that he was doing that with, but you're right, it was Deadpool. I don't know, I could see him liking this movie more. I could see a lot of his complaints for the first movie not being in this film. Also, I don't really think of Deadpool as subversion. I get that it is on some level, but I actually don't really. I think there was a flaw with that, which he was commenting on, but I'm a huge One Punch Man fan myself, and I do think that's better than the first Deadpool. So I agree with a lot of that video. I actually forgot about that video because I hadn't seen it since he did that video, which is, I'm assuming, like 2 years old. But I remember him hating the first Deadpool, but he might talk about the sequel. Who knows? I just don't know. For some reason, I get the feeling he won't make a video on it. I could be wrong though. I don't think there's as much. I don't think there's as much benefit to his channel and views he'll get from this as much as the first movie. I don't think this film's going to be as talked about as much as the first movie. I don't think this film's going to be like as instantly popular as the first film. It even had a lower opening weekend, so I think a lot of those factors, because a lot of his commentary for the first film was discussing how people were reacting to it in Subversion. He really can't repeat himself again with the second video. If he made a second video, unless he was praising this film, he would honestly just be making the same points again. And I don't know if that would really be an interesting video to him. He might make one. For some reason, I get a feeling he won't make one. I don't think the first film's that funny either. I didn't laugh at it that much either. I mean, it was okay. It wasn't like a bad movie or anything. I get why people liked it, but I didn't think it was great. I like how Deadpool saves Vanessa through time travel in the end, thereby rendering the whole film pointless. Yeah, that's true. I'll get to my arbitrary rating when I get to the end. I'm just going through the movie as I always do in these spoiler reviews and commenting on the scenes. So then we get the scene where Deadpool goes to get Colossus, and there's a Say Anything reference. Now, when they first did this, I didn't find this that funny, and Say Anything's one of my favorite movies of all time. Cameron Crowe's one of my favorite directors. So, him holding up like the little radio and playing the song, that was cute. But the payoff to that joke, the joke they do later on, even though it's a joke they do in the first movie where Deadpool gets the thing stuck in his head, like a sword stuck in his head, and then music plays in his brain. They did that in this. They do the same joke again. Colossus shows up and picks him up, and he like lays his head on his chest. That's one of the funniest moments in the movie. I really thought that was a funny scene. So they go to the orphanage where Russell's now going to kill the people who abused him. He brought Juggernaut with him, and then Colossus shows up to fight Juggernaut. So he's got Domino, Cable, and Colossus with him, and the guy who drives the taxi. And the deal that Deadpool's made with Cable is that I can save Russell. I can get him to not do these bad things if you let me talk to him. Give me 30 seconds. One thing I did like in the, was that a radio or a radio app on an iPhone? It looked like an iPhone or a little like an iPod or something. I can't exactly remember because I saw this film a week ago. There's images of it. I can't exactly remember, but sorry about that. Honestly, I can't remember. Hold on. I'm gonna go get some water. I'll be right back. Hey guys, sorry about that. I had to go get some water. I'm having trouble with my throat right now. I'm not really sure why. I'm sorry if the audio is really bad on this. Excuse me. I'm really worried that there's like this gonna be this ear sound. Something's gonna hurt your ears a little bit with my voice right now. I'm a little plugged up. I should have recorded this on a day where my voice was better. Holy crap, my voice sounds bad right now. I guess I got some compression and all that on this, so it might not sound too bad. I'll try to stay away from the mic a little bit so it's not too bad. There's just a little bit too much tremble in my voice right now. It sounds nasally. I sound really nasally right now. Ugh. Sorry. So anyway, uh, yeah, I need to take something. Yeah, I didn't know this just kind of happened like right before I started recording. My voice sounded fine most of the day, but now all of a sudden it's having issues. I don't know. I might be getting sick or something. So, anyway, Deadpool 2 ends with them all fighting. It's a big fight scene, and they're cutting through ways. I also didn't like the editing of this movie. I thought the editing was really sloppy. Like, I know Ralph the Movie Maker talked about this, but whatever. But, like, I noticed it. Yeah, I didn't think it was a very smoothly put together film. I thought the first film had better editing and cutting. I thought Tim Miller did a better job with kind of putting the movie together. I thought this film was just kind of... It's not that it wasn't coherent. It was just that it was a little haphazard. Your stream caught me off guard. Well, I was intending to do this stream like Wednesday or Tuesday, but the reason I couldn't do it on Tuesday is, God, what was it? I had to do something on Tuesday. I can't remember what it was. And then Wednesday I was shooting the Kylo show, so I didn't have time to do it then either. Because I saw the movie on Saturday, and I was planning on doing a review on like Monday or Tuesday. But I got really busy this week, and I've been kind of having a crappy week. I've been down. I won't lie about that. I've been having a really crappy week, but I'm not here to complain. I'm here to entertain, goddammit. But we were shooting the Kylo show, and then I thought, crap, I gotta do this, and then I was like, oh my god, it's midnight. Oh, it's gonna be midnight, so I need to do this before Friday, because I gotta do a solo video this weekend. So if I waited for my Deadpool 2 review... And I was going to do a regular... See, I thought I was going to do a video for Deadpool 2. I thought I was going to make, like a review, like a normal review, and upload that, and not really do a live stream. But I couldn't think... Well, thank you. Thank you. But I couldn't think of, another thing to do, so I just decided to do a live stream and talk about it. So you guys could get my opinion on the movie. Because I know a lot of you wanted to hear what I had to say about this film. And I didn't talk about it too much on Sunday, so I'm just doing this so people can hear my opinion. No, I'm gonna go see Solo tomorrow, and then do a review for it. So we might be getting a Why Solo Doesn't Work video if I don't like the movie, but I might like the movie. Who knows? You know, it does look mediocre. It doesn't look like it's good or bad. What's got you down in the dumps? Just moving. Family drama right now. Schedule issues. I've been having a hard time with my scheduling. You know, like working and getting my shit together. It's just been a pain in the ass. I haven't had the free time I've wanted. My sleep schedule is off. There's just a lot of things like that are all piled up right now that just kind of keep me from being happy. Not that I'm depressed. It's just things are more messy right now. Like I didn't have enough time to do anything I wanted to do today. And that's just been getting really annoying more than anything. Anyone notice the estimates for Solo have gone down from 170 to 130? They've gone even lower than that. They're even lower than that right now. Well, good for you, Madcap. I hope you get hits on your review, my friend. So, the ending of Deadpool is they all fight, and then Deadpool decides he's going to die. That's a nice way to show Russell that he cares about him, because he takes a bullet. Oh, that's World Class Bullshitter's entire channel. All they do is talk about... I mean, occasionally they'll review something like a Marvel movie. Like, they'll talk about Black Panther, or they'll talk about Infinity War, but every video is about Kathleen Kennedy. Geeks and Gamers does that a lot, too. And I'm not knocking them, it works. You get a lot of hits on your channel if you do that. And I like World Class Bullshitters. I like the main guy. I think he's funny. I mean, I watch the videos, but yeah, God, they have so many videos that are like Kathleen Kennedy, Ryan Johnson does this, Star Wars bombs in China. They've made 2 separate Star Wars bombs in China videos for every new Star Wars film, and then they're obviously going to make like 20 Solo videos. I mean, it's basically a Star Wars channel, but if that's what they want to be, that's what they want to be. I mean, there's nothing wrong. There's positive Star Wars channels that all they do is talk about Star Wars, so it's okay that there's a negative Star Wars channel where all they do is talk about Star Wars. There's nothing wrong with that. I just kind of wish they would branch out a little bit more. Like, I kind of wish that they would talk about different movies or review different stuff that isn't just like superhero films or Star Wars movies, because I think the main guy's funny and makes a lot of good points, and I just wish he would talk about other stuff. I mean, even recently, that video, the fan backlash to Kathleen Kennedy, it's just like another Star Wars video. It's like, God damn it, dude. And I watched it, and it was a fun video, but it was like, and then Solo bombs in China. It's like, oh man, that's all you do, man. Like, just break it up a little bit. I know that's how they blew up in subscribers, and it made the channel bigger, and they've got a big fan base. I mean, they get like 10,000 hits on a podcast. Those are good views, man. They get way more hits than I do. But I just wish they would branch out a little bit more. I did watch the John Campea video, yeah. Yeah, it was pretty rough. I put in a good word for you with World Class Butters live show. I was on there with Cecil. People mentioned you in good light. I said, look, he's a box office guru for council guest. The people mentioned me in a good light. Like who? Was it the people in the chat? And I don't want people to think I dislike World Class Bullshitters. I really don't like those. I don't dislike those guys. I like their content. Somebody just asked, do I think they talk about Star Wars too much? And I'm like, yeah, probably. But, you know, they can do whatever they want. I'm not here to tell them what to do. I was in their room earlier. They mentioned 1 year ago they were at 3K. Today they're at almost 35. Yeah, no, all of those channels have grown much faster than I have. Mahler's Last Jedi videos, he blew up to like 40,000. Dishonored Wolves jumped up to like almost 70,000. World Class Bullshitters used to be, yeah, like 3K. Now they're 10. I'm still under 10,000. They're pretty much 100% Star Wars. I mean, if they're not 100%, they're like 93%. But once again, that's not a negative. Yeah, all the other channels blew up me. I don't know why. I just don't grow. Not that, you know, once again, I'm not complaining. I do YouTube as a hobby. I have a day job. But it is weird to me. I did figure I would be bigger by this point. I figured I would have over 10,000 subscribers. I don't know why. I've just plateaued. I always plateau. Like, I was at like 2,000, then I was at 3. Then I was at 4-something thousand for months. Then I shot up to like 7,000 once I did those Star Wars videos. And then, you know, I got up to 8,000 not too long ago. But yeah, I've been dragging, man. I had like 1,000 subscribers every couple months or so. I figured I'd be at like 10, 11,000. You know, whatever. It's tough to grow a YouTube channel. It really is. And I don't do a lot of clickbait. If I did more of my channel awful or Iron Man's problematic videos that get over 20, 30,000 hits, I would be growing quicker. But I review a lot of movies without doing clickbait titles. I don't make like how this movie failed, why this film bombed. I don't do videos like that too often, and that definitely is detrimental to growing a YouTube channel. I have learned that just reviewing movies and talking about older films like I do with Underrated Classics and all that, that's not a good way to grow a YouTube channel. Solo was a fine movie. It was well-paced, fun action movie. It had bad dialogue at times and a terrible droid Lando love thing, but it was fine, and Ron Howard did good with his task. Well, I'll have to wait and see. I haven't seen the movie. I'm disappointed that World Class Bullshitters didn't talk about Chris Stuckman. Oh, well. Oh, okay. He gave Solo a pretty like crappy video, right? I mean, crappy review, right? He gave it like a C. Obviously, you need to be making 100% Star Wars video. Yeah, I mean, every time I made a Last Jedi video got hits. My Rose video got 270,000 hits. All of the other ones got over 50,000 hits. Like, every time I did a video with Last Jedi related, it did really well. It's ridiculous. It was like, holy crap, you could make these every day. Like, that's how Geeks and Gamers look. Like, if you just make a video like Kathleen Kennedy's feminist agenda, Ryan Johnson's a hack, you'll get thousands of hits. It's on. I'd give that advice to anyone who wants to try and start a big YouTube channel, right? Or a small YouTube channel. Just make videos like that. Yeah, I don't think Mumkey's gonna collab with me. The shout out was nice that Fraser paid for. I thought that would give me more subscribers too. I mean, that video got over 100,000 hits. That's just like, it's weird. It seems like I have a very small audience base. Like, I figured that my audience, because a lot of those channels that are big, I feel like my content's in line with them. I think like my content's in line with World Class Bullshitters and Mauler and Captain Cummings and that. I think I make similar content, but they all blew up bigger than me, and I'm not really sure why. Besides maybe them making videos with better titles than me, but you know, I don't know. Maybe I should whore out more. I don't know. Maybe I should make more like why Star Wars sucks, why this sucks type videos. World Class Bullshitters would rather probably talk about other stuff, but Star Wars stuff pulls in the views. It does. It does. You can make you can get a lot of views and subs and money from Star Wars content. I think it's because most people want to see Star Wars fail. Not sure why, though. Yeah, there is this big negative thing right now with Star Wars where people are just obsessed with negative Star Wars videos. The algorithm doesn't care about your hobby. It reads titles and promotes Star Wars. That's true. That is true. Something's popular. That's what it cares about. Get on the High Council and you'll get an uptick in subs. They're not going to put me on the High Council. Or get me on the High Council. Everyone they've had on there is bigger than them, right? Razor Fist, Mauler, Captain Cummings has like 20,000 subs. I don't know why they would get someone smaller. I don't think they even know who the hell I am. That's an issue too. You know, we're talking about people that don't... Not that I want to talk to the main guy. I think he's a funny dude. But, you know, I could bitch about Last Jedi as much as anyone. In fact, I think I made some points about Last Jedi other people didn't really make, but... This is all just going off the rails from the Deadpool 2 conversation. All the channels increases started with their Last Jedi rant. Yeah, no, my channel increased from that too. I added like 4,000 subs from my Last Jedi videos. I'm not gonna deny that. You don't have to change what you do or how you do it, just the titles. That's not necessarily true, Army Vet. That's honestly not true. There's no way to title my videos like talk about my favorite year, the movie Underrated Classic. There's no way to title that video where that's gonna get hit. Nobody watches videos of my favorite, like me talking about talk radio. That's not gonna get hits. Even if I titled it with a better title. There's just some things I talk about that people aren't going to watch. Dude, your videos are way better than World Class Bullshitters. I used to like them, but at this point, all they talk about is Star Wars so much, it's just bitter. I mean, you know what, dude? You know, it's just their thing, you know? That's fine. You know. You've been shouted out at least twice on World Class Bullshitters High Council. Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate you guys shouting me out. That means a lot to me. You know, you guys are awesome. You've been really good. I should try to talk to Captain Cummings about that. I guess I should be more productive. I just don't like asking people for favors. Get some cough drugs on me. Although your voice sounds fine. By the way, I predict you will leave the movie tomorrow more or less completely unmoved one way or the other. That's probably true. High Council guest, not member. I put your name in as a guest for Lucasfilm's box office discussion. Wait, what's that? Carbonite chat for in film guest. Oh, thank you. I appreciate you doing that. I definitely could talk about the box office. I know the box office numbers. If you get too popular through your streams, wouldn't it be as fun? When there'd be too many people, it'd become difficult to keep up with the chat. That's very true. That's a good point. Pat, you're above that. You don't need to make those kind of videos. Your content is great and insightful. They just talk about Star Wars. Well, that's fine. Once again, you know, like a lot of channels, they make good videos. The titles for box office night, not your personal project titles. For box office night? What? Box Office Addict does well. That's one of the things on my channel that does well, Army Vet. Like, there's some Box Office Addicts that have 15,000 hits and it's a 3-hour live stream. Box Office Addict's not the issue. The only reason I don't grow bigger in the live stream is that I don't do more live streams. I do about 1 live stream a week. I think if I did 3 a week, I could probably grow as a live stream channel. I heard the Ralph Retort Killstream talking about this last night when they had that big episode with Andy and JF and everyone on. And they said the thing where it's so tough to live stream. It's so tough to do it by yourself. You need the chat, you need guests, you need call-ins, you need arguments. You can't do it. And I go, man, I guess I'm different from you guys. I think live streaming's easy. I don't have any issue doing a live stream by myself. I do it all the time. I mean, weekly, and I don't mind talking. I always have something to talk about. I mean, maybe I'm boring, I don't know, but I think I'm funnier than Ralph. I think I'm funnier than anyone. I think I'm funnier than Andy Worski. Holy shit. Not trying to be cocky here, but I think my stuff's better than that stuff. I don't know how Worski and all that stuff does so well. I'm like, well, crap, mine's better than that, but... You ever dislike an actor because they played an insultingly unpleasant character in a movie? Nothing comes to the top of my head right now, but Rose would be a good... Yeah, Rose, like you said, that wouldn't be bad. I tried shouting you out on world-class bullshitters, but I embarrassed myself. You don't embarrass yourself, dude. That's fine. I never took Dave from the Kylo show to be a Mormon. I thought it was either going to be Scientology or Mormonism, but we couldn't do the same joke. Because the whole joke was the Star Wars trilogy, and trying to connect the Star Wars trilogy to the trilogy of the Bible was the idea, with the Return of the Jedi and Mormonism. And that one worked with Scientology. I was live on World Class Bullshitters, and I'm a nobody with 0 subs. Oh, well, cool then. That's awesome. Worski isn't very smart. He could easily just communicate with his audience like you do. Yeah, I don't get Worski, but, you know, I like Ralph too, but I think I'm funnier than Ralph. I mean, I was just kind of cringing last night when they were saying that. When they were saying last night, like, it's so tough to live stream. And Tonka and Failure, they're so unfunny. I've never heard either one of them say anything funny. Opie and Opie. I mean, the only guy who's funny is Jim. Jim's hilarious. Mr. Medicare is funnier than anyone else who live streams. Naked Ape's funny. I'll give them to all the credit. Jim's hilarious. He's so funny. He can drop a line. He's quick. Everyone else is boring. Oh my god, are they boring? I mean, I mean, I don't know. I guess people just want content. I'm just confused. I listen to that stuff, and I'm just sitting there going like, man, how are these guys getting like thousands of dollars for live stream? I mean, like, at least JF tries to talk about interesting topics and bring people on for debates and stuff. But these other guys that are like radio shows, it's like, man, if this was a radio show, this would be like a shitty, like, shock jock hack crap, like Howard Stern ripoff bullshit. Like, none of them doing this radio shows are impressive to me. I don't think any of them are that, like, engaging. I don't think they're quick on their feet. I don't think the lines are that good. But maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I don't know what people like. Since it's about Deadpool, long story short, I thought Deadpool 2 was better paced than the first film. The only reason to watch is because of Medicare. Yeah, no, whenever Medicare shows up like a Pokemon... Like, oh, a Medicare spotted. That's when those are there at their best. No, Jim and Ape should just do a show together. If Naked Ape just went on Meadowcast and that was the show, if he was his co-host, that would be my favorite live stream. Those two are funny. Captain Chaos versus Captain Cummings. Yeah, Captain Cummings is funny. I like Captain Cummings. I'm a fan of him for sure. Also, I like the World Class Bullshitters. I think the main guy in particular. I don't know if I think everyone's as funny, but the main guy, he's a really funny dude, and I kind of like his perspective on things, and I like his voice. I like the videos where he goes and looks at the toys in the store. I think that's pretty good. Those are some of my favorites. Yeah, so that Red Letter Media, I mean, not Red Letter Media, that Ralph the Movie Maker versus Alex on Last Jedi Sardarnicast was exactly what I said it was going to be. I was like, Alex is going to say nothing, and Ralph's going to be really bad at making his points. That's exactly what happened. Alex was just like, why is that a problem? I haven't heard one good complaint about this movie. I can't hear legitimate complaints. Like, go watch the Mahler video. I wish I could have been on that Sardonicast, because Adam wasn't saying anything. What do you mean, yeah, I thought the casino stuff was the best stuff. Really. And then Ralph's just sitting there just saying, like, it's a bad movie, bad plot, bad characters, bad, and he's not going into all the plot holes and terrible writing, and he can't explain why it fucks the mythology. And I'm like, Ralph, come on. Every small YouTuber made videos on this explaining this well. It would take, like, it would take me 2 minutes to explain to Alex why he's saying why it's so terrible. Oh, God, no, Sardonicast needs me. That show is a disaster. Oh my God. The only reason people are positive about that show is because they're fans of those guys. It's only because they're subscribers to Ralph, Adam, and Alex. If they didn't have a huge sub base and that was just them starting a new show, that show sucks. Like, even them talking about good movies like Barry Lyndon or Inarritu's film and all that, they just give these really generic reviews like, yeah, what was your favorite segment? I really like the one with the dog at the beginning. I really like that part. Yes, it's very good. Yeah, this movie's fucked up. It's dark. Holy crap. And there's people in the comments saying stuff like this is better than Red Letter Media, and I'm like, holy shit. There's single lines that Rich, Mike, and Jay say that are funnier than the entirety of a 2-hour Sardonicast. His arguments do suck. I don't even know what he was trying to say. Alex's thing, like, I don't know why people think it's the worst thing ever. I don't really know what the problem is here. I haven't heard anything good about this. Like, F you, man. No, their discussion on Last Jedi sucked. Oh my God, why did they even have that discussion? See, I prefer the part of the podcast where they talk about an older movie. And I was like, wait, you guys haven't seen this movie? You haven't seen the Death Trilogy? Like, you haven't seen Babel and stuff? Like, really? Like, I don't... Like, they haven't seen anything. Like, it's like, holy I mean, Adam has, but I was like, oh my God, you guys haven't seen anything. You're like movie experts? No, that show's so horrible. They're bad at pacing it. They don't have good chemistry. Alex does not flow well with Ralph and Adam. Ralph and Adam are fine. I don't know. People are praising Sardonicast in the comments. People are like, "Oh my God, it's awesome," and they get a bunch of likes and they get under. And I'm like, it's like I think it's a lot of your movie sucks and Ralph's fans and I had everything has 1 million subs, so they have a big fan base. But I'm like, this is not a good podcast. It's kind of fun when they talk about the older movies that they haven't seen and they're discussing it for the first time. That's interesting. Whenever they're talking about, like, topics like the Channel Awesome thing, Last Jedi, the Oscars, what have you, they give the most generic opinions. I mean, it's like watching Entertainment Tonight or something. I mean, it's really just a more humorous version of, like, a really shitty panel YouTube channel like Screen Junkies or Collider. It's not as cringe because they're not shilling, but they're not saying anything. There's no substance. And they're just making these really lame jokes. I don't get the format of that show at all. I'm baffled by it. I really don't. There's 3 people there that I think are professional YouTubers, and without scripts, it seems like they can't really perform live when they just have to talk. I'm not impressed. I was excited for Sardonicast. I never feel like a second-class subscriber in your chat room. Thanks, Pat. Hey, you're welcome, Davis. When I attend other chat rooms, they seem to really only answer paid questions. Yeah, I've never done that, although I think that's a good business decision. I never receive an answer to my question. Yeah, another thing about Your Movie Sucks. Remember when he was on Screen Junkies and did the movie fights, and he had never seen Animal House? And he didn't know who Christopher Guest was? When they asked him the Christopher Guest question, he's like, I'm not familiar with who that is. So he couldn't do it, and he was horrible. Like, he couldn't debate, and he was the most, it's considered by many to be the most boring episode of movie fights. It was like, oh my God, dude, holy shit. Like, and I like Adam and all, but it's like, man, God, you were terrible on that show. Like, dude, people are like, you don't get it. You don't get deadpan comedy. I mean, does deadpan comedy mean that his jokes don't have to be funny? He just has to give a deadpan delivery and not say a funny joke? Is that the whole bit? That he doesn't have to make a funny joke and he can just say it like this, like he doesn't care, and then it's hilarious? Because that's all the people defending him in the chat, down in the comments, because he was horrible on movie fights. He did a terrible job. Oh, he was just trolling. It's like, oh wow, he was just trolling. Yeah, okay, that was some good trolling by being the most boring person possible. That's a good way to troll. But man, But that was hard to watch. And then, yeah, he didn't know who Christopher Guest was, and then he's never seen Animal House, and he had never seen, like, some other movie, and I was like, what? What the hell, dude? Few good men. If you have too many in your chat, you can really only realistically respond to paid for questions. I think I could read questions pretty fast. No, he definitely lacks an older film knowledge, and I don't say that as like a criticism of him, but yeah, does that deadpan just be boring? No, that's the thing. Like I don't know if he watches many films before the I mean, I know his favorite film's The Holy Mountain, and that's from the 70s. Jodorowsky, but like I don't know how many films he's seen from the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. I don't know how many 80s films he's seen, comedies. He seems to only like art house films in particular. It seems to be his bread and butter is art house movies, but when you're talking about mainstream films, he doesn't seem to be as knowledgeable, which is fine. We all have our weaknesses. Like nobody knows everything about, unless you're like Quentin Tarantino or Martin Scorsese, you fucking know everything. But yeah, it is weird. I thought him and Ralph would know more about older movies, and they don't seem to know that much. For being film buffs, I would have just thought so. But, whatever. It's impossible to answer all the questions with 1,700 people in the chat. I just left world-class bullshit. I mean, they still ignore a lot of questions they could read. I'm in those chats, too. And I know it does go by really, really fast, but people probably could read a little bit more. Yeah, he's never seen Animal. That's what he said on the movie fights. Maybe he was trolling. Good troll, bro. So anyway, Deadpool 2. This just became me shit-talking and roasting a bunch of other shit. You know how I would add Simplex to Sardonicast? I would do this. I would make fun of them. That's the problem. They're too nice to each other. You can't really have a good show like that where everyone's sucking each other's dick. It's kind of the death of a good show. I'd say that's the biggest criticism, is that Ralph, Alex, and Adam aren't willing to challenge each other enough. The Isle of Dogs fight is the closest we got to that, but they're not willing to insult each other and challenge each other. And none of them are aggressive dudes. Alex isn't an aggressive guy. Ralph's the most aggressive. And Adam's not aggressive. So it's three guys who are kind of beta male-ish, who don't want to go at each other about their differing opinions, and they don't really want to dig deep in anything, and they don't have balls, and that's the toughest part. That's the part that's detrimental to the whole show, is that it's three weak men trying to be assertive, and they just clash with each other because none of them are assertive. They might be assertive individually as people, but as a collective, they're bad. They're like a band that needs a lead singer. Like, one guy can play bass, one guy's the drummer, one guy could... They need a lead singer who can be the front man and give the band its sex appeal and kind of be the voice. But that's what they're sort of lacking with that show. That's why I try to watch many movies. I saw Deadpool 2 on Tuesday. I truly enjoyed it. First time in a long time. I actually liked it more than Avengers, but the Avengers was good. Pat, you're quite refreshing compared to the other 2,000 people in chat with people playing to get their voices heard. That's only because enough people don't watch my stuff. But even if I was getting super chats, I would still read the main chat as much as I could. I would try to talk to you guys. I'm not going to forget your names and stuff like that. Talk to me in another chat. I'm a nobody. Don't freeze, and I know how to play to other strengths. Chill. You can hear me. The episode we challenged each other and stayed cool. Too many people. Well, I am doing that show with Cult Film Video, so I'm going to be a little busy with that. But I could probably get you on the Screen Champs and Fantasy Movie League. I could probably get you on as a guest for an episode, because we are going to bring guests on where we will be debating movies on there. And I will be getting aggressive on that for sure. Because that won't be, like, basically my channel, so whenever I have to debate anyone on there, I'm going to go full asshole. It's going to be Tom Cruise at the end of A Few Good Men. I'm going to get in their Jack Nicholson faces. There's nobody on YouTube that is the equivalent of Siskel and Ebert. Me and Blood Money want to be that. We want real discussions to be... We want to be Siskel and Ebert. Him being the Siskel and me being the Roger Ebert. That's how we feel, because we're both big fans of them, and we've seen all that stuff. And Blood Money being Jewish, and he's got Siskel's personality. He's more analytical about stuff, and I have an emotional side to me, kind of like Ebert that I reviews. But we have these amazing. I mean, I'm not trying to, like, it's not hyperbole. Me and him have these like 8-hour conversations, and we don't fucking record them because we're idiots. that are amazing. Like at least an hour and a half of each one of these conversations. Like we say some of the best movie conversations I've ever had. Just amazing insights. We had this great conversation about Quentin Tarantino the other night, and David Fincher and Wes Anderson, and there was an amazing conversation. We were talking about Howard Hawks and Billy Wilder films, and we were talking about Sweet Smell of Success and how much we love that movie, and then Sunset Boulevard. Not that Billy Wilder directed, but we were talking about the difference between the staging of films from the 40s and 50s and how Blood Money prefers those, and how I'm kind of the modernist, and I know more about like films from like 80 to like especially in the 90s and 2000s. I'd say I'm kind of if you're talking film buff, I'm an expert, I would say, from 1970 on to 2000 today. I've probably seen as much as anyone that's a film buff. Now, before that, obviously the 60s, the Italian neorealism, the French New Wave in the 60s, going back, I've seen a lot of that stuff, but that's not my expertise, especially classic Hollywood. I would say that's where I'm lacking a little bit. But we have these wonderful conversations that I would love to do more, that I would like to record. Yeah, I mean, whenever we get around to doing it. Pat, I have a weird rule where I can only watch a new good film once in a day. Another good movie beats out another good movie for me, and it ruins the experience. Huh. I mean, we were doing our best films of the 80s list, and that's something I'm really excited about, because we're very tight on the rules that it has to be an American film. It has to be one director only gets one movie. So that makes it tough when you got to do a top 20. I wish I could be there with you guys. I would be like a little kid. It's great. They're honestly amazing movie conversation. I mean, I'm not. I've been thinking about doing a new show called Please Rewind Presents, where I tell stories. Because I write a lot of short stories and stuff like that, and I kind of want to do it. I don't know if you guys know the show This American Life, Ira Glass, where they find a story and then somebody kind of tells the story. That was kind of my idea with the show, is that stories that I've heard from people in my life, or stories from my life, and then I kind of tell them in a fictional way. But I kind of want to write these scripts and tell the stories and kind of like where there's not a lot of dialogue, but it's a lot of detail and giving you like descriptions about things going on, like an old radio drama, me telling stories in radio. I've been thinking about doing that, but I don't know. I'm considering it. I'm a big fan of This American Life, and I kind of want to do something like that. I just want to do a show about storytelling. Right, where I just tell stories, though. I think of myself as a storyteller, and I just know so many stories, and I just think like I could write that down and do something like that, like 20-minute little stories. Yeah, I have a VCR in my garage. I have an 8-track. I need to get back to Deadpool. Holy crap. So anyway, Deadpool ends, and Deadpool's dying for 5 minutes. That's the joke. He saves Russell. Russell doesn't destroy the future and kill Josh Brolin's family, Cable's family. The teddy bear goes back to normal. And everything's happy. Deadpool goes to be with his wife, Vanessa. And Take On Me by a-ha comes on. It's the saddest version of this song I've ever heard. Now, I know this was a-ha actually singing it from an MTV Unplugged, and holy crap, is it a downer. Like, it's very sad. It's, instead of it being like do 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 do, like it's more like, it's like acoustic guitar, like do 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 do, and like instead of him being like take on me, I'll be gone, he's saying it real long, like take on me, I'll be gone. And it's like, oh my god, this is really emotional. It kind of ruined the song for me, though. I was used to that song, like, making me happy, and now I hear that song, and I'm like, oh, that's sad. That's really sad. Like, I don't want to think of that as a sad song. a-ha did a James Bond theme, by the way. And there's the James Bond opening. Just connecting it here. It did touch my heart a little bit here in the song. The music really helps the movie. Hearing In Your Eyes, hearing Air Supply. I'm a big Air Supply fan. I'll admit it right now. I also like Barry Manilow. Fuck you, I don't care. I'm lying alone with my head on the phone, thinking of you till it hurts. God, Air Supply's so good. So, Anyway, all the death blah blah happens. He goes to be with her, and she's like, "It's not time yet." And he's like, and I honestly, I wish they would have kind of killed Deadpool. I wish they would have just committed to this, but whatever. They didn't want to kill Deadpool. They don't want to lose that cash cow. So Deadpool doesn't get to be with her. He comes back, and then they fix the time travel thing at the end. And the best part of the movie is the time travel stuff at the end. So, because I kept hearing the after credit stuff was really funny, and when I saw this movie. Oh yeah, Papa Can You Hear Me? Yeah, I'm forgetting jokes. Papa Can You Hear Me? The Frozen thing. That was a knock at Disney. That was funny. Blood Money didn't like the dubstep joke. I didn't like the first dubstep joke, but the second dubstep joke I laughed at. Not when they first said it, but the second time when it just came on randomly. That was funny. Bathory usually can't be on this late, Craig, because the time zone's different where she lives. She's probably in bed right now. Yeah. I like the second dubstep joke where they're on the armored truck, then it just comes out. That time it made me laugh because it's so random. I also like the joke with the wigger guy, and he's calling him like Black Thompson or something. Like, I can't remember the guy's name, but he's like, "You're a hate crime. That's racist that you killed that guy." There was funny bits throughout the movie. But the actual like the music was great. And those bits were funny. The running gags throughout the movie, not all the gags that were callbacks to the first movie, but the running gags were really funny that would show up as well. But man, the after credits, I'm sitting there and there was a mentally handicapped girl there with their father in the theater, and she kept yelling during the whole movie. And like I said on Sunday, I thought she was yelling out potatoes. I didn't know what I thought it was either that or Thanos. And I'm not going to do the voice because that would definitely get me in trouble. I'm not going to like make fun of her. But it was ridiculous. Like, she yelled out for like the entire movie. She just kept yelling out, and it was just like, oh god, stop. Like, I don't know what to do. This is so awkward. But so they leave during the credits, and my girlfriend was just annoyed. She was just pissed off. She was just so annoyed at the whole theater experience we had with this movie. And plus we had a half hour of trailers before the movie started, and that annoyed us because we wanted to get food, and we didn't go eat before the movie because we don't want to miss it. And then there was a fucking half hour of trailers before the goddamn movie because I guess theaters just don't make enough money anymore, so they have to put a bunch of advertisements in front of the movie. It's like, I already gave you fucking money for the movie. I already paid you like the $10 to go see the film. I'm not paying for fucking commercials for other films. A couple of the trailers were cool, but did I need to see the trailer to Mission Impossible Fallout and The Equalizer 2? Does Mission Impossible really need that trailer to be seen by me in the theater for that movie to make money? The Mission Impossible franchise, the last two films both made over $600 million. They both basically made $700 million worldwide. I don't need to see the goddamn trailer. Oh, it's an R-rated Muppets movie with Melissa McCarthy. You definitely need to see that trailer, motherfucker. Aren't you going to go pay to see that? No, I'm not going to go see that movie. It looks like shit. It's not that funny. Oh, he comes like whipped cream all over the room. Oh, yay. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. It would have been better if Deadpool had been coming out in between the shows. Instead, it was the terrible Grinch. The fucking Grinch from the Illumination, which already looks awful. I haven't even seen the trailer. I was just watching the Grinch in between the trailers to the movie before Deadpool, and I was like, wow, the voice, the animation, the lines, it's fucking horrible. He's like, can the movie just start already? And I'm like, I am thinking that, but that's not funny you're saying that. But I do agree with you. Can the fucking movie just start already? God damn fuckballs. But, having said that, once the movie started and I got into the groove of it, so I was annoyed going into the movie. So, I think maybe I would enjoy this movie a little bit more if I was just watching it at home. Maybe it wasn't exactly a theater experience movie for me because of the particular situation I was in, because unfortunately, I'm just having the worst luck right now. Oh, it was much better than the Infinity War screening. I'll take 100 mentally handicapped children over the Marvel fans yelling during Infinity War. Any day of the week. I'll take that. There'll be blood with that. Bring a bus of mentally handicapped children to the movie. I'll take that over a bus of Marvel fans. Please. The time travel at the end was the guy who doesn't have a superpower only. It came across that way that Peter was the only one that he went back and saved. Netflix valued higher than Disney theater is dying. Between the loud people and the crying. I mean, Disney's not hurting at the box office. Theaters are dying, but Disney's still making money. Look at the box office of like Black Panther and Infinity War. Marvel is strong at the theater. It was rough, people. It was rough. Yeah, sorry, Dawn. I'm sorry. You know, I was just confused because I thought you were an advertising exec from the 60s. So I wasn't sure how you would be able to download stuff onto your drive. I didn't think you guys had that stuff back then. But perhaps you time travel. So I don't know, maybe you time travel to the 2000s and go back to the 60s. That would be very cool, actually. I'd watch the Mad Men time travel episode. Oh yeah, no, I'd shoot myself. It would be like Deadpool. I would try to blow myself up if I had to be with a bunch of Marvel fans. Yeah, of course I've seen Meet the Feebles. Yes, great movie. I don't know, how would Disney's stock be stagnant? Everything's making money. Like, Star Wars is making money, their movies like The Jungle Book is making money, Lion King stuff, they sell merchandise. Marvel's bigger now than ever. Their theme parks still do well. Wouldn't they be doing... I mean, they already made $2 billion this year at the domestic box office. Am I missing something? Like, Disney's making a shitload of money. If you watch a second time, I think you'll get a better feel for the fleshed out feeling of the final 2 acts. I felt the prison act and the introduction was rough. Oh no, the first half hour was rough of Deadpool 2. That's definitely true. It takes a while to get a groove going. The first like 20 minutes with her dying and the stuff just was rough, and the prison section wasn't really that well put together either. It wasn't until the movie kind of smooths out in the second half. I mean, I felt that way watching it this time. I just don't think it was like... I don't think it was a great movie. I know a lot of people are giving this like a 9 out of 10. Or like a 10 and saying it's better than the first movie in this amazing film. And I just don't agree with that, personally. I don't think it's a bad movie. Once again, I was very entertained by it. I laughed at the movie and I had a fun time. But I don't think this was like the great superhero film people are trying to make it out to be, or this great comedy. I mean, people seem to be loving this movie. It's got like an 8.2 on IMDb. All the reviews I'm seeing, for the most part, people are praising it. I think it was a really fun movie and an okay film, but I can't say it was a great movie. I just don't see that, and a lot of people are acting that way about this film. Yeah, it's like a 7 at best. Yeah, it's and in a lot of ways I think it's less inspired than the first movie. I really do. I think Tim Miller did a better job. I kind of think his presence was missing in a big way. I think he had more polish and more... I don't know. I just think that... I know Ralph was saying it was much better than the first film, and they did things that the first... And there's scenes like that. Deadpool getting ripped in half and being a backpack, the jokes, the meta humor. There is stuff in this movie that is an improvement over the first one. And the theme parks aren't doing as well. They cost a lot to operate, or losing a lot of the audience to Universal. I thought theme parks in general were just going down. I didn't know Universal was doing better than Disney. I mean, they need to update Disney World. That's been the biggest issue with Disney World and Disneyland. A lot of those rides are old as shit. A lot of the rides at Disney, like when I went to Florida last time, the rides at Disney World, and I know they had the Avatar ride, like they felt like they were from like the 70s. When all the Universal rides, for the most part, except for a few, obviously, like the E.T. ride and a few other ones, they felt dated, but they've updated them. Like the Jurassic Park ride needed updated. But as long as Disney can update their rides, they should be able to get the park back up. A lot of their rides were just too outdated. That was the main issue. Where Universal added the Harry Potter thing. The Harry Potter thing was a huge deal. That was really a huge deal. Yeah, Disneyland is a fuck of a lot better. I don't think Disneyland's better than Universal, personally. I don't think the Disney ride... I think they're too outdated. I think they need to update the parks. They're kind of fun to go to, but they're too little kiddie. The rides aren't modern enough. That's really the thing that holds them back. I think the Star Wars land's a good idea. I think that's their Harry Potter ticket. I really think that's going to benefit Disney World. They need something like that to get people to go to the park. They need a gimmick that people want to go to that's such a popular thing. So we'll have to see how that pans out, really, in the long run. So, my favorite part of the whole movie was the credits. I said that during the credits. The only joke in the movie that made me laugh out loud I mean, like legit, where I laughed out loud, was the X-Men's Origins Wolverine thing. Because what it did is it took me back in time. It took me back in time to 2009 when I went to go see X-Men Origins. And I saw that movie in the theater, and it was just like one of the worst theater experiences I had. Well, not one of the worst because I laughed, but it was such a horrible fucking movie, X-Men Origins. And just the door opening and seeing Deadpool from that movie, even though they did jokes of that in the first movie, just seeing it again, the mouth being sewed up in that, I just started laughing. I mean, I felt like I was back in the theater again. I don't know if they reshot that or they used footage from the old movie. I'm not sure what they did with that. I guess they just redid it. I just started laughing. I was just like, oh my god. Holy shit. And then, you know, Hugh Jackman's there. Deadpool just shoots him. That made me so happy. And that smile that Ryan Reynolds gives when he looks at the Green Lantern script and he's like, this is the big time. Welcome to the big time. And that smile he gives is amazing. That look on his face, his eyes and his teeth. Like, he has this look of wonder. And I just don't know how he did it. Like, it's a beautiful face. Like, I want that to be my screensaver. That smile he gives for a few seconds. Me and Blood Money talked about it for 5 minutes. We were like, how did Ryan Reynolds do that smile? I don't know how he pulled that off. It made me so happy. Like, just like his eyes were glowing. Like, he looked so happy. Like, I was like, gee, I've never seen Ryan Reynolds that happy. I've seen him smile at so many things that'd be funny, and he's a good performer, but I've never seen him do something like that. That facial expression he gives, it's like, God, how many takes did they do for him to get that down? That'll definitely be a screensaver at some point. It was so funny. Oh yeah, no, X-Men Origins had a great trailer. It looked awesome and like it was exciting, Wolverine and all that. And then the movie was bad. It was really bad. Had this director made like this critically acclaimed foreign film, and like he won an Oscar, and like you're like, man, this is gonna be the one, man. This is gonna make up for X-Men 3, and then it was somehow worse, which just seemed impossible at the time. But you know, but yeah, it was adorable. It was absolutely adorable. So the end credits was the highlight. That was the only time I laughed out loud. Overall, though, to summarize, Deadpool 2 is a fun movie. In many ways, it is better than the first film. I don't think it's as tight as a movie, but it's probably got better highs than the first film did, but it also has a lot of lows. A lot of that has to do with it being a longer film, a more confused film, and the first act really does hold a lot of the overall movie down. I think this film probably could have cut 10 minutes. I think Cable needed to be more of a presence. I think it should have been a buddy movie or an X-Force movie or that X-Men film they wanted to make. I don't think it needed to be all of these films together. I think just pick a movie, or you could have developed the relationship between Russell and Deadpool a little bit more. He's actually funny in Blade 3, though. Ryan Reynolds is the best part of Blade 3, him and Parker Posey. Yeah, it is weird. He had all those bombs, like all those failed superhero films, and that smile on his face was maybe like, I'm Deadpool now, I'm happy, I'm rich, I did it. Now him and Scarlett Johansson need to have an MCU crossover, the divorced movie, where Deadpool can talk about them being divorced. I used to bang her. Now everyone does. That would be something I would go for. So yeah, really fun movie, really good time at the theater. I don't think it's better than Infinity War at all. I'd actually say Infinity War is a much better movie than this. I actually think I laughed more at Infinity War. I actually think there's funnier bits. They're wrong. It's not as edgy as this, but the action scenes and a lot of the jokes I just liked a lot more. Oh, I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know he's a lightweight on drinking. Whatever. I don't imagine I'd be getting drunk with Captain Cummings if we talked to each other on a show. Did you see H Bomber Guy praise Crit Alt Del and comparing it to misogyny? It's absurd. Dude, I hate H Bomber Guy. I just quit watching his stuff. He's good at like editing, but that's about it. His argumentation and the way he structures videos is so manipulative, and he's not funny. But I respect his editing. He has great editing. He really does. But he's just full of nonsense. He's kind of a moron, a pseudo-intellectual that Mediker did a great job of exposing him on the Dark Souls video and breaking down how he makes the videos, although Mediker's videos are too... Mr. Mahler, not Mr. Mediker, Mahler's videos, not Mediker. Dude, Mediker's not gonna come on and talk to me about movies. Are you kidding me? You just assume, like, oh, Mr. Mediker's gonna come on this live stream, because, yeah, of course he would. Why would he do that? What is the benefit of this? Yeah, and you hear Jim actually talk about movies, and he drops some deep cuts in there. Like, I heard him talking about movies on a live stream the other day. I was like, man, Jim knows some movies. Hard sci-fi, new wave sci-fi, cyberpunk, golden age sci-fi, or any others. I like hard sci-fi and cyberpunk. I mean, I'm a fan of all of them. I guess maybe he might. Are you aware of the Digigod Synagogues? No, I'm not. Guys, let me finish the Deadpool thing. Jesus Christ. It says Deadpool 2 spoiler review. It didn't say open conversation about whatever. So, my arbitrary rating for Deadpool 2. A messy sequel, but a fun and worthy sequel. I think the reviews for mainstream critics are about right. They gave it about a 7.1 average rating on Rotten Tomatoes, 82%. That's around where I'm at. I kind of want to give this film a lower rating, like a 6.5, because I think that's really more the quality of it. But I'm going to be nice just based off entertainment value, and I am going to rewatch this movie. And the second act is really good, and the payoff with the say anything joke is great. And the end credits joke is great. And Ryan Reynolds, I think, gives a better performance in this as Deadpool. And for that, I think he's more comfortable and better. And I think he's more likable in this movie than he was in the first one. I think he was a little bit too much of an asshole. This movie, I think he was very sweet. And I really respected that. So I'm going to give Deadpool 2 a 7 out of 10. That's my arbitrary rating. I think Deadpool 2 is a solid 7 out of 10, and I would recommend anyone to go out and see it who hasn't seen it yet, especially... Yeah, he is irritating, that voice he does, and the way he talks to the camera. Remember when he did that questions for anti-SJWs, and he's like, Anita Sarkeesian's gonna take our video games, even though it doesn't make sense. And he's on the phone like, she's gonna take our video games. Oh, no, our video games! Like, he's just so cringe. He's so unfunny. He's just a really good editor. Apparently on YouTube, if you edit a video well, you're apparently an expert on topics without having any good substantial points or good arguments or being an entertaining person. You just have to be good at editing. That's something I've learned on YouTube. It doesn't matter the substance of what you're saying in your video or your review or your analysis or your breakdown. It just matters how good your editing is. That's all people care about. Well, it was well edited, so... Alright, this guy knows what he's doing. He spent that extra 6 hours on Sony Vegas or Premiere Pro or Final Cut or whatever editor you're using. He spent that extra 6 hours on it, so he's great. The H-Bomber Guy video was emotional, but sucked comparing a webcomic to misogyny. Yeah. I don't like H-Bomber Guy, what am I gonna say? He's got a big channel. He made the Sherlock Holmes video. I kind of like that video. I like a couple of his videos, but he's just, the majority of his stuff, especially his political stuff, it's just, yeah, it's annoying. He's a really annoying guy. But whatever. Mouthy Buddha is very good at editing. It's funny because Ralph the Movie Maker recommended H-Bomber Guy to the crowd. I mean, he does make well put together videos. H-Bomber Guy. You gotta give him that. He does a good job of putting his videos together. What do you think of Wade Major or Mark Kalser? Or is it Kalser? Or is it Case? Oh, is that an I? I'm sorry, where I'm looking from the screen, I'm really far away, so I can't exactly see the name. They suck. That's what I think. Destiny Captain. What a strange name you have there. How long have I been going on here? Alright, I think this has been long enough. I think you guys got enough content out of me. I know these live streams for people usually go 3 hours or whatever, but I'm just reviewing a movie. I don't have anything else to say. You guys aren't giving me any super chat money. I can't milk those titties, those super chat titties. I'm not making enough money, people, so I'm not going to answer your questions anymore. I'm going to do this all the other live stream style. I need money now to answer your questions. That's all that matters to me is that damn money. I don't care about talking to you cool people and having fun. Why would I want to have fun on a Thursday night when I could be making money? Jesus Christ. I come from a Collider, but when I didn't like The Last Jedi, they treated me badly. Oh, Jesus, that's silly. Well, dude, you should feel better. You should have never went to Collider in the first place. What's wrong with you? You're better now. Don't worry. You're with better people now. We'll take care of you. Everybody give back your money. Give me your paychecks. It's fine. I think all I've attracted is all the poor people. That's what I love about you guys. You guys are the hobos that hang around the dumpster fire. And I come and throw you guys a bag of Taco Bell that I didn't finish. Hey, here's a half-eaten taco. Do you want it? Yes, Daddy Pat. Yes. Please. Oh, yeah, no, I'm done with the anti-SJW people. The shoe-on head bullshit, all them talking about the same topics, Sargon, everything. It's so boring. They're just broken records. I'm so sick of, like... There's nothing new to say, and none of them, like... They're not as funny as they think they are. They've ruined words that are great, like cuck or beta male. Stuff I love. They've just ruined them because that's the only thing they have, faggot. Like, they just say the same shit. Now they're all talking to the alt-right. It's just become very boring. It's not that there isn't interesting people in there that are funny and entertaining and smart, but the majority of them as a whole, the group, the collective thing, it's awful. It's become a meme for a reason. It really is. They've become what they used to make fun of. They've become a joke. Because there's a self-seriousness. That's where things fell apart, is that they take themselves too seriously. They all have egos. They all have insecurity issues. They all think that because the subscriber count, that arbitrary number, the money you get on your super chat and from the ad revenue, and people telling you how great you are all the time. Think about all the people that tell Shuanette how great she is. It gets to your head. Power corrupts. It makes these people think that they actually matter, and they don't realize they're in a little echo chamber themselves, and they really don't have any outreach, and nobody knows who the fuck they are. And there's only a small collective of people who actually, like, listen to their stuff. And it's typically, like, teenagers or people that just need some validation, who just want people to agree with things that they already feel. And they're mad about this political correctness, so they just like hearing people bitch about it because you don't hear in the mainstream, you don't hear many people complain about it, so that's all it really is. Chris Ray Gunn tries to make entertaining videos first and puts the other stuff on second hand, the politics. He tries to be funny first, so that's why I give him credit, because he goes out of his way to make good videos. Yeah, they are kind of bullyish, and they have this group think, and they act like they were all nerds in high school, and now they all act like they're the popular kids because none of them had any actual social skills or success in life outside of the internet. So they've made their entire life digital, and they treat it like they're in some big corporate world, and they have me. And it's just hilarious because it's like nobody cares. It's like what Jim told Sargon. He's like, it's cringy. He goes, you think you're part of this like movement? I mean, Sargon starting the liberals. It's just cringe. It's like hilarious. It's like, calm down. You're just somebody who makes YouTube videos. You're no different from anyone else who makes YouTube videos. You're not important. Why do you think you fucking matter so much? What the fuck? Like, it's just, it's insecurity. That's what so much of it is. It's a need for this feeling of importance because they know they're never going to do anything in their real life. And it's sad more than it is hilarious. It's upsetting. A lot of these people. Would you get Austin McConnell on your show? I mean, if he would come on. I mean, you know. Oh, no. Shu especially is not bright. At least Greg has, like, average intelligence. Shu's just a dumb person. And a bitch. Who tries to pretend that she's not a bitch, which is the worst kind of bitch. Those are the bitches I really hate. How dare you call me poor? Jesus, look at the big wallet on Brian. Brian's giving the money out tonight. Shit. Now I feel obligated to do something for you, Brian. Brian, is there anything you would like me to talk about or do real quick? Just to give you back something for what you've given to me. I can't give you a blowjob over the computer screen, Brian. I apologize. If I could, I would. At least a hand job. Maybe some tickling of the balls, possibly. Plus, the SJWs are far worse and far more powerful. Far more powerful? Yes, but they're not going to beat the SJWs by being a joke themselves. The trolls are just going to side with other people. They're not going to side with these retards. Why do you think Sargon is starting a liberalist movement? Because Richard Spencer told him he's not as smart as he thinks he is, so now he has to prove that he's as smart as he thinks he is. Because that line hurt his feelings. I want to tweet you a picture. It proves I can't super chat. It's not that I'm cheap. Dude, I'm just kidding, man. I don't care if you give me money at super chat. I'm just joking around, dude. No, Pat, you are the gift that keeps on giving. Oh. That sounds nice. That's a nice sentiment. I feel insecure sometimes as well. That's part of the reason I enjoy your show. Yeah, I don't have a lot of insecurity. I wish I did. I wish I could relate to that feeling. That, like, I don't feel good enough. But I don't have that too much. I feel good enough. I feel like a cool dude. I feel like a good dude. Maybe it's because I don't do shitty stuff to people. I don't know. I don't really fuck people over in my life. I don't really, like, do snakish stuff. I don't really do backhanded stuff. I don't do cutthroat stuff. Even though that can help you get ahead in life. Don't get me wrong. It's like that whole Dave Chappelle pimp story that he tells at the end of that comedy special. But, you know, I'm a pretty nice dude, so I don't have a lot of guilt. And I think insecurity partially comes from guilt, and because it's also guilt of not taking charge of your life and doing the things you want to do. Which, you know, there's a bit of that in my life, but I don't hate myself and need other people to tell me I'm good. You have to challenge yourself and try to, like, you have to be your own critic and try to have good taste and know what's good or bad. You can't really, like, let other people control that for you, because if you let other people control that, you're just going to try to please everyone, and when you're trying to please everyone, you're not doing anything. That's what makes you bland. I mean, I'll trash other YouTubers, but that's just talking shit. Talking shit isn't screwing someone over or being a bad dude. Like, I can talk shit about someone and have opinions like I do about movies, but I would never do anything bad to those people. I would never like harm them or do anything bad to their channels or flag their videos or tell people not to go to their channels or anything like that. I just you know, I don't like stuff that people say. You know, I'm not gonna back off. You think I am a bitch? Have you seen my Twitter? I tweet some hardcore shit sometimes, and I'm like, I probably shouldn't have done that. Although, I gotta give Mundane Matt credit this week. He actually was funny for once. That joke he did about Greg. Greg looks like the kind of guy that would cry the first time he saw a vagina. That's funny. I wish Matt was that way on his live streams. That's fine. I'm like, Matt, I've never heard you be funny before. I was really surprised. That was some good shit. I just want Matt to talk shit about all these people all the time. It's great. It was amazing. That's kind of why I don't do videos. I'm in constant worry that my opinions are just not that unique. Well, you should do it anyway and find out. Maybe they are. And honestly, you don't need to have unique opinions to get people to watch it and give you money, so who cares? You can make some money, why not make it, right? Wouldn't that be nice? Oh, do you work at a theater, Madcap? You actually, like, work at a theater, man? Or do you, like, own a theater or something? I don't want to assume that you're just an employee. Maybe you own the theater and you're some rich guy who owns a movie theater chain. Although, I doubt that's what it is, but maybe you're the manager of the theater. There we go. That's a good one. I worked at a theater for a little while when I was younger. Not too long, though. That was entertaining. Enjoy your weekend and the mediocre film tomorrow, Pat. Thank you. I will enjoy that mediocre film. You just helped me pay for my tickets, Brian. You're a good guy. You're a really good guy. I hope that wasn't your Taco Bell money. I know that some of us have to save up for those quesaritos. I wish I owned one. Yeah, I've always wanted to own a theater. Show like Tarantino does and show movies of my choice. Have my own movie marathons and screenings. Wouldn't that just be the shit? That'd be so based. It's so based, man. I've thought about working at a movie theater. Well, get a job at one. Oh, Mundane Matt is embarrassing to watch. Don't get me wrong. That's absolutely true. I'm not here to tell you to go to Matt Jarbo's channel. Unless Matt wanted to pay me to say that, then please go subscribe to $3 Theater and Mundane Matt now. I hope you don't contact Soy from Solo. I hope so too. I'm really worried. Solo is fine, but it's not as bad as World Class. Well, you know World Class Bullshitters was going to say it was bad. There was no way they were going to talk positively about that movie. It was impossible. Like, you could have put the money down on it. There was no way they weren't going to say that film is shit and terrible. And you're wrong, it's a pointless movie. We did not need a young Han Solo movie. That's the biggest issue with the movie, even before seeing it. You don't need a young Han Solo film. You just don't. Nobody wanted it. And it doesn't warrant an existence. We don't need to see Han Solo in his early 20s. They could have just made their own movie that's not a Han Solo film. But that doesn't mean the film itself has to be a bad movie and that we all have to hate it. You know, I mean, I might hate the movie, but I'm sure it's not as bad as some people are going to make it out to be. Like, it's terrible. I'm sure at its worst, it's a very mediocre movie. Not like, this is insulting bullcrap, the Lando pansexual thing. I haven't seen the movie, but is it really that much in the movie? I doubt it's hardly a part of the film at all. What, Lando just tries to bang a few things in the movie, so oh no, it's SJW. Like, really? What part of Texas did you live? East Texas. I lived near, outside of Dallas. Kind of King of the Hill-esque existence. It was very close to King of the Hill. I pretty much grew up in King of the Hill. Very similar. Except I remember there being a lot more black people, but I don't remember them being that much at King of the Hill, actually. But they did say it was better than Force Awakens and Last Jedi. Well, it should be. I mean, although that's a pretty low bar to pass. Like, Rogue One's a much better movie than those two, in my opinion. You should go into Sardonicast with Kanye West Black Skinhead playing in the opening. Like a wrestling, like that's my WWE song. I come out with Black Skinhead playing. I'm up for that. Yeah, I don't know. The writer said he was pansexual. It's like J.K. Rowling saying Dumbledore's gay, even though there's nothing about him being gay anywhere. I'm sure it's not in the movie. Yeah, what happened to the Knights of Ren? Remember that cool flashback or dream sequence Rey had in Force Awakens that had no payoff whatsoever in the second movie? Like, seriously, where the fuck are the Knights of Ren? It's so confused. Like, where are they? What happened to those guys? Who killed them? Did Snoke kill them? He doesn't bring them up. Why wouldn't he keep them around? Wouldn't it be useful to have a bunch of other dudes with, like... Weren't they the other Jedi students that left Luke's school? Because Luke said Kylo took other... Where are they? I guess we're going to get those answers. Like, I'm sitting there like, what happened to them? There's no answers for this. They don't give a shit. Like, it's one of those things that's set up in the first movie, and it's like, where did it go? Like, I mean, it's like a black kid's father. Where did it go? It's just gone. He gets up on Christmas morning when he's 3 and his daddy's gone. And then he's 20 and he's like, what happened to him? I don't know. Just missing. I feel like I have moments of confidence and social anxiety. Well, let me give you advice, Crazy. Faking confidence is just the same as having real confidence. If you can fake confidence and pretend that you have it and trick yourself into having it, it's pretty much the same thing as having real confidence. Really no different, because somebody who actually thinks they have real confidence is basically just doing the same thing. It's all mind, man. You gotta win the mental battle. And isn't that half the battle after all? Now that's why I'm Guess the Last Jedi now. Knights of Ren were killed off screen by Kennedy because they weren't female. If they were all female. Oh my god, that's funny. They all had like big boobs and stuff. The cunts of Ren. It should have been a bunch of female students that take Luke out. That would have been a good metaphor for the franchise. For where it's at currently. I hope you guys liked episode 3 of the Kylo Show. Episode 4 is coming. I know we ended it on a cliffhanger. I don't know. I gotta end this though, so I don't know too long. Thank you for the money. I appreciate it from Brian. You're a good dude, Brian. You're a good guy. I'll try to dance and sing for you on a stripper pole and and do tricks with my butthole next time I'm on. Thank you everyone for listening to my Deadpool review, which was about an hour of this, and the other 45 minutes was me talking about random shit. But I missed you guys. You guys are so cool. It was so fun talking to you guys. And I'll see you on Sunday for Box Office Addict, where we will be covering the box office of Solo this Memorial Day weekend, which I'm very excited about. I can't wait to see how that movie's going to perform. So you guys leave in the comments section, what did you think about Deadpool 2? In the comments section, don't say it in the chat. And what are your predictions for the opening weekend of Solo, a Star Wars story? And I should have my Solo review out probably this Saturday, or I might come home and live stream a review tomorrow like I did with Last Jedi. It depends on what I'm doing and if I have the time to do it. But I would like to live stream. So maybe I'll be on tomorrow. I can't promise it. But it was awesome, and I thank you guys for being on. I'll get sleep. I'll be fine. I don't think I'm sick. There's just something up with my voice. I think it's more just like being allergies or the weather. I don't think I'm sick. But yeah, thank you. I hope you guys enjoyed the Deadpool 2 review. Once again, a 7 out of 10, and I would recommend it. Not my favorite film of the year. That's probably like, I don't know, Isle of Dogs maybe so far is probably the movie I liked most this year, but we'll see. Yeah, that is tired. I agree with you, Dawn. I agree. Just like everything else on the internet, it gets dead after 2 days. So I'll play you guys out some outro music. And yeah, cool. Have a good night. You guys all have a really good night.